I'm Gabe Gutierrez inside Alligator Alcatraz. The Trump administration and the state of Florida had all of this built in just 8 days. It'll soon house up to 3,000 undocumented immigrants here temporarily. The acting ICE director tells me the goal is to have detainees here for no more than 2 weeks.
We want to ensure that we remove people back in a safe and humane manner, and we'd much rather do it quickly. Not only for the people detained, like I said, but just for cost savings for the American government.
The administration says this is going to cost about $450 million a year, but they say that it will be reimbursed, at least in part, by a FEMA program that was previously used to house migrants in different parts of the country, including in New York City. Now, the Trump administration has ramped up its mass deportation plan. Some opponents of the Trump administration have said that not enough of those being arrested by ICE actually have criminal records. And according to a review of ICE data by NBC News, only about half of those in ICE custody have either been charged with or convicted of a crime previously. The acting ICE director, though, says the priority is still to arrest the worst of the worst.
We are still going after the worst of the worst, but like any law enforcement agency, if we do encounter someone on the outside, or through the course of another law enforcement investigation, we do come across people that are just here illegally, we will no longer turn a blind eye to that.
About 50 miles west of Miami, a remote airstrip deep in the Florida Everglades has been transformed into a temporary migrant detention center.
That is the entrance to the facility right there. Just on the other side of the highway, though, you can see the type of land that surrounds the airstrip. These are wetlands, possibly teeming with alligators and pythons, something the administration views as an added security feature.
We're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this.
This facility is opening up just as the Trump administration ramps up arrests across the country. There are now nearly 60,000 immigrants in federal detention, believed to be a record high. The need for more holding facilities was also an issue during President Trump's first term. In 2019, CBS News was the first to get a look inside a temporary shelter in nearby Homestead, Florida, where more than 14,000 unaccompanied minors were held over the span of 2 years. That facility was eventually shut down amid allegations of unsafe conditions. Conditions at the new detention center in the Everglades are also a concern, as are risks to the environment. The facility sits on what Native Americans consider sacred ground.
This is what you're looking to protect?
Yes.
Betty Osceola is a member of the Miccosukee tribe.
There's a lot of generators out there, a lot of equipment that they have to power with some type of fuel, a lot of chemicals that they have to have on site. So if a natural disaster were to happen, like a hurricane, and all that fuel ended up into the ground, it's going to get into our drinking water aquifer.
Manny, this new facility the president toured, how much is it supposed to cost?
It's estimated it'll cost $450 million a year to operate. The state of Florida is spearheading the construction, but is set to be reimbursed by the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA.
And on the 60,000 number you used, what do we know about the makeup of those 60,000?
We know that about half of those people in custody right now do not have a criminal record, which underscores the point that even though the Trump administration says it is prioritizing going after criminals, it is casting a very wide net.
Manuel Bajorquez with the president. Thank you.
They're literally selecting the biggest alligators one by one to put around the Alligator Alcatraz, which they just constructed in only 8 days, and it's gonna be in the Everglades in Florida. If you haven't heard of the Alligator Alcatraz, the people are saying that this is absolutely inhumane, because this right here is where they will house 3,000 individuals at a time who don't have their papeles and were arrested by federal agents. Chat, and did we mention that this facility here will be surrounded by a large body of water that will have the biggest alligators in the world and also some of the most poisonous snakes? I never would have ever thought that I would ever hear something like this be built. You see, it was actually the state of Florida that built this. It's apparently going to house 3,000 individuals, and this entire facility was built in only 8 days. They said that they were originally going to build it in 72 hours, but there were some regulatory holdups that prevented this from happening. And this is how the facility currently looks like. This facility, named the Alligator Alcatraz, will house 3,000 individuals, and you will probably not be able to escape. Chat, the chances of escaping something like that are extremely minimal. You can see what Grok said, an escapee facing many alligators and pythons in wetlands like the Florida Everglades would likely not survive. Chat, this is absolutely doing way too much. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know and drop a comment.
They really built the prison in the swamp, y'all. Surrounded by fucking gators. This is crazy. I feel like this is modern day slavery. They really said, forget about the fences. We about to have the gators being the officers. They real life got human beings in the Everglades like this is Jurassic Park. I don't really care how they try to package it up, but this is modern day slavery at its finest. They not just gonna be dealing with gators, y'all. You got pythons, you got the heat, you got the mosquitoes, you got a whole concoction. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is fucked up. Because if this was you or your family in here, would you like it? Would you wanna be there? This ain't even about border control, y'all. This is about fear, about control. Y'all, look at the inside of it. That joint don't look like it got no AC, nothing. They probably gonna be hot as hell in there. This shit crazy, y'all. It real live look like a concentration camp. Am I tripping?
Alligator Alcatraz is a concentration camp that's currently being built in the United States in the Florida Everglades. I know that sounds very extreme, and I really don't want my video to get taken down, so I'm literally just going to pull up the definition of a concentration camp, a place where large numbers of people, especially political prisoners or members of persecuted minorities, are deliberately imprisoned in a relatively small area with inadequate facilities, right? That's to a T what Alligator Alcatraz is. Obviously, this falls in line in like the very authoritarian style of imprisonment that the Trump administration has done since he got reelected. But weirdly enough, Alligator Alcatraz is not by the federal government. It's a creation of Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is the Florida governor, right? And what's really ironic is that Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump are actually political rivals. He ran against Donald Trump in 2024 and actually changed the laws of Florida so he could run against him. But you know, Ron DeSantis is very much a sycophant. He doesn't want to make Trump base voters angry. And clearly he is making this migrant facility to make a name with Donald Trump, which makes sense because Donald Trump today visited that facility. Now, to be completely fair here, migrant facilities that are basically concentration camps have existed in America for a while now, even under Obama, right? So let's be fair here. But what makes Alligator Alcatraz even more crazy and more bizarre is that the cruelty of the conditions are kind of the point of this whole thing. And when I say cruelty, like, I just hope you know that I'm not exaggerating at all. Like, they're literally selling merchandise based on this camp that they're building. And the biggest selling point, at least according to Ron DeSantis, is that migrants are going to have no way to escape because they're so deep into the Florida Everglades, in a place where they used to actually store like airplanes and stuff, that any escaped migrant would just get eaten by alligators and pythons and just various other dangerous animals. And you're probably thinking like, wow, people are probably in an uproar. Like, you know, the Democrats are probably doing something to stop this. Come on. So this camp is getting built with pretty much no opposition, right? I don't even know if there's any kind of legal, force that's trying to not make it exist. But people are voicing their concern. Like, number one, the fact that this is in the Florida Everglades and it's just thrown up there and as quickly as possible, it makes it very unlikely that these conditions can be humane, right? Over in this place where they are, it's very humid and hot, right? And it's going to take a very robust air conditioning system in order to keep everyone safe effectively. And it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And this is a picture of how they're planning on holding these people. I'll let you decide if that's humane to you, but it kind of looks like a dog kennel to me. I don't know. And Trump is eating it up. He's loving it. Ron DeSantis' plan to ingratiate himself to Trump is definitely working, because obviously here he is visiting the facility. And, despite the fact that Ron DeSantis is probably exaggerating in that this facility could hold thousands of people, Trump wants them to hold even more people. And he's even floated sending American citizens to facilities like this, right? And that's kind of where we're at with it. Even the ability of the courts to challenge something like this from happening has been severely damaged with some recent Supreme Court hearings and stuff. So there's not really anything we can do. Alligator Alcatraz will exist, and we just got to hope we don't.
Pay attention. This is what the so-called Alligator Alcatraz looks like inside, the most controversial immigration detention center in the country, which in just a few hours will be inaugurated by President Donald Trump in the heart of Florida. And what these photographs show is simply disturbing. Known as Alligator Alcatraz for being surrounded by alligator-infested swamps, this center was built under strict orders from the Department of Homeland Security to detain thousands of migrants seeking asylum. According to anonymous sources, the cells measure just 3 square meters, and each will house up to 6 people. There are no windows, the air is heavy, and the stench of humidity and despair is unbearable. The most alarming thing are the unofficial reports. There is talk of internal protocols that limit contact with outside, constant surveillance with thermal cameras, and a loudspeaker system that repeats dissuasive messages 24 hours a day. Some human rights lawyers have already described this place as a social experiment, or worse, as a psychological prison, a security center, or a dead-end labyrinth for migrants. Tonight, Alligator Alcatraz will open its doors, and with it could close thousands of dreams.
Two environmental groups are suing to stop Florida from opening that massive ICE detention center in the Everglades known as Alligator Alcatraz. The groups say the plans did not go to follow federal environmental review laws. The state's governor says he plans on processing people there as soon as next week.
Yo, pay attention to this video.
The facility will have up to 5,000 beds to house, process, and deport criminal illegal aliens. This is an efficient and low-cost way to help carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history.
Now listen, hear me out. This the quickest and the fastest I ever seen these people do something that they really want done. They done really put together a detention center to house criminal illegal immigrants. Now listen, the name of it is Alligator Alcatraz. This is located in Florida, in the Everglades. Now listen, in the Everglades, they have python, mosquitoes, alligators. Pythons, mosquitoes, and alligators. So I was watching the people interviewing the governor down there, and it was like, are y'all going to put up fences? He said, oh, ain't no need to put up no fences because it's nowhere to run. I could understand. And from looking from the video, it's really nowhere to run. Like, where these people going to run to? It's a bunch of alligators, pythons, and insects. Yo, when I tell y'all this is crazy, this is beyond crazy. The detention center opens as of tomorrow, I think. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, because this is crazy. And TikTok, this is for entertainment purpose only. I'm only on here to bring awareness to my friends for educational purposes only. Y'all like, share, comment, and repost. Bye, y'all.
We are here in Florida Alcatraz, where we can see that this project has completely backfired. Mexicans are adapting quickly. Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. Y'all don't try anything funny. These gators ain't been fed yet.
Ain't no way this is legal.
I think if I give him a tortilla every day, he's gonna let me swim past.